Welcome back. There are fears about the extent of a massive oil spill from a pipeline in northern Alberta. Millions of liters of crude oil have been spilled near the traditional territory of the Lubicon Cree. A school is closed and a community may have to be evacuated. For the Lubicon, who have spent years fighting against pipeline and oil development on their traditional lands, the spill is a source of growing fear and anger. APTN's Lubicon reports from Edmonton.
Call them to get a quote from them either which way.
From her Edmonton office, Melina Lubicon-Massimo is anxiously searching for answers.
Fine with going up in the morning.
Massimo is trying to learn more about the massive oil spill that's happened near her people's land.
I mean, it's deeply saddening, it's deeply concerning because we're very worried about what the ramifications are going to be in the community. The community is only 7 kilometers away from the spill, so we're quite concerned at this point in time. And I'm really sad that my family has to be experiencing these kind of noxious odors every day since last Friday.
The spill happened near the community of Little Buffalo, located about 450 kilometers northwest of Edmonton. The pipeline system that runs past Little Buffalo extends nearly 800 kilometers, carrying oil from the tar sands. The Lubicon Cree have spent years on the sidelines, watching as pipeline companies carried out construction. Even 3 years ago, as machinery scraped the landscape, elders were already fearing for the future of their traditional lands. Provincial officials here in Edmonton were unable to give an on-camera interview. But regulators say 28,000 barrels of crude oil have been spilled, making this the second worst oil spill in Alberta's history. Officials say the nearest house is 7 kilometers away from the spill, but residents claim the smell is overpowering, oil-coated animals are dying, and a school with 120 students has been evacuated.
Right now, what we're seeing immediately are the health impacts. So people have burning eyes, people are experiencing headaches, people are getting disorientated. The children haven't been able to attend school since last Friday because the community and the principal does not want to have the school open because the kids were getting sick there the first day of the spill.
There have been many protests against the pipelines on disputed Lubicon land. This spill will only add fuel to the anger that's been simmering for years. About the future expansion of tar sands industry over the ancient lands of the Lubicon people. Keith Lubicon, APTN National News, Edmonton.
We have to.
News of the spill is already worrying many groups, including the Indigenous Environmental Network. We're now joined with spokesperson Clayton Thomas-Muller. Clayton, thank you for joining us. Given the size of the spill, what are your main concerns?
Well, I think the primary concerns that the Indigenous Environmental Network has right now is the fact that this spill happened within such close proximity to the community of Little Buffalo First Nation. In particular, children trying to attend the school have been most impacted. You know, the teachers at the Little Buffalo school tried sending the children out of the school to get some fresh air because they were getting sick inside the school, but they were getting even worse going outside, and so the school has actually been closed now for 4 days. So children are not able to get their education due to the lack of maintenance by the All Plains American Pipeline Corporation, of which this rupture has occurred from. The other secondary concern, of course, is local ecology, of which local communities depend on for their sacred connection to Mother Earth through their hunting, fishing, and trapping culture. This spill happened within a proximity of 300 meters to local waterways and has contaminated muskeg and forest within the region.
Clayton, do you feel the Alberta government is taking the spill seriously?
Absolutely not. Yesterday evening there was a community meeting where All Plains American Company was meant to show up to provide a briefing on the response to spill cleanup, and the Alberta Energy and Conservation Board didn't even have the decency to show up in person. They actually faxed a 1-page fact sheet to the community school. And so, as usual, the Alberta government sits in the pocket of big oil and allows big oil to be their representatives to communities who are hardest impacted by big oil's ecological footprint.
And how do you expect the new Conservative government will handle your concerns and others surrounding the tar sands?
Well, we know darn well that the majority leader, Prime Minister Harper, has always been in the pockets of big oil, supports oil sands, tar sands expansion by any means necessary, and this, will probably, they will attempt to sweep it under the rug because they are trying their darndest to lobby the U.S. government for permitting approvals on the massive Keystone XL pipeline, and as well as trying to approve the Enbridge Gateway pipeline, which will connect the tar sands to the Pacific Northwest coast. So tribal Americans and First Nations all across this continent are concerned about the impact of these mega pipelines because they just keep rupturing. And because these companies' bottom line is profit, they really don't care about maintenance and that, and they haven't demonstrated the safety. And there has been recent studies that have proven that tar sands pipelines actually rupture and leak more than conventional oil pipelines because it's such a dirtier form of oil, and it leads to corrosion of these pipelines so much faster.
Clayton, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.